On behalf of the media department, I would like to welcome you all, and for any other delay, we apologize. Today we are conducting this press conference to highlight the media on the outcome of the investigation conducted in the crisis of Bor Local Football Association. And the following is the resolution of the Board of Directors, which was passed in the last meeting dated the 22nd November 2021 as follows. After a lengthy discussion on the above cited subject presented during the Board of Directors ordinary meeting number 5, 2021, dated 22nd November 2021, chaired by the President of South Sudan Football Association, General Agustino Madur, based on the reports of South Sudan Football Association Investigation Committee and the apology letter from the Board of Directors of Bor Local Football Association, the Board of Directors of the SSFA deliberated and approved the following resolution. Suspension on Bor Local Football Association activity is lifted with immediate effect as from the date of 22nd November 2021. The Board of Directors of Local Football Association for Bor is directed to lift the illegal suspension on the President of Bor Local Football Association with immediate effect as from the date of 22nd November 2021. The suspension of Secretary General of Bor Local Football Association is lifted with immediate effect as from the date of 22nd November 2021. All the matches played in Bor Local Football Association as from the 20th October 2021 are considered null and void, therefore considered cancelled. All those matches have been cancelled. The organizing committee for Bor Local Football Association is directed to draw a near fixture for the matches played during the suspension period, including the remaining ones, with a copy of the timetable to be sent to South Sudan Football Association Secretariat with immediate effect before the resumption. Board of Directors of SSFA strongly warns the Vice President and the Secretary General of Bor Local Football Association for the violation of the SSFA directives and the media reporting. Any repetition of the same conduct shall lead to disciplinary measures appliance. The President, Vice President, Secretary and Treasurer of Bor Local Football Association will be summoned by the SSFA leadership to come to Juba for a meeting in an appropriate time. The Board of Directors, Bor Local Football Association and the General Secretariat of the SSFA shall strictly implement this resolution. Thank you for listening. This is the resolution of the investigation conducted on the crisis of Bor Local Football Association. I will give this chance to Vice President, and for any other question, we will open a chance for question and answers.
The chairperson of the media committee, the deputy secretary, members of board, we would have taken measures against the secretary, the president, the vice president, but because of the apology letter, we thought it is wise for us to first try to resolve this issue in a brotherly manner, without applying our status. The second will be now, if they repeat, then we will be forced to implement the status. I want to warn all of us here that reporting things that are not correct is not good. Because already we got information from Bor that they are going to be suspended. And it almost caused a problem in Bor, and we know who are those behind it. If you are a son, a daughter of Bor, or anywhere, please report correct information. Don't cause problem. So we want you to disseminate this information There is no any suspension, but we want to reconcile them so that they continue working together as they were elected. So we will give you an opportunity. If there are questions, we'll be more than happy to respond to those questions. Even outside BOR, we are also there for you. Thank you. We are still engaging some key leadership of the state, and then we will present it to the board. It has not been yet presented to the board of directors. So the report is not yet out for Malakal.
Well, the activities were suspended, and BOR Local Football Association, through Vice President and the Secretary General, decided to react negatively to the decision that was sent by the SSFA. And based on this decision, all the matches that were played illegally without the knowledge of the SSFA are considered cancelled. So they will start from fresh from the date when the crisis started in BOR. When the letter was sent from here was around 20th, and they continued to play the match illegally. So all those matches played illegally have been cancelled immediately from the date of yesterday and today. So whatever match that was played between yesterday, today, up to the day when this letter was sent, have been cancelled with immediate effect. So they will not be considered legal results. So they will be forced, based on this directive, to send a new timetable detailing the matches. So all those who were knocked out during the illegal matches, they have to resume their activities, and we will consider it from today onward. Well, I think the legal action includes the last warning. You know, when you said last warning, that is already a legal action, because whatever they will do again, whether the same matter or a different matter, we'll go back definitely to, and even the law we have gives warning. Even the status we have also gives warning to those who violate some decision. So the violation was warning, and that was the last warning. So whatever they will do, especially the Vice President and the Secretary General, definitely they will either be suspended or dismissed. The law says that way. So we are not favoring any association that is based on the results of the investigation. But of course, there is another phase, which is they're coming to Juba. So the case has not yet finished. They will come to Juba, and we will still continue with them. Whatever the outcome of their coming to Juba will also be shared with the media. So the case has not yet finished, but we are doing this so that the activities resume in BOR. Well, you will recall that BOR Local Football Association, when they realized that they will face a serious outcome of their actions, they immediately apologized. They immediately sent their apology, and I know it's the nature of every human being. You know, mistakes are common. So we consider their apology, and as a result of the apology, that's why we reinitiated the second phase, which is their coming to Juba. So the apology reduced what could have been done to BOR Local Football Association. But I know also replaying matches is also another punishment, because they have done a legal action. So whatever circumstance in the second phase of their coming to Juba will also be shared. So I think the punishment has been reduced because they immediately realized their wrongdoing and they apologized.
Starting from the date of 20th of October up to the date of 22nd, and even it will apply to matches played yesterday and matches played today, because up to now we have never received yet the revised fixtures. All the matches that have been played within this given period are nullified and not considered. So if BOR Local Football Association doesn't send us the the revised fixtures for the matches played from 20th to 22nd of November. This will be another case. In response to favoring the association, I don't think SSFA is favoring any association, but we are in line to create harmony in any association that is arising cases. Like for example, a case happened in Yambio whereby the board members happens to suspend matches without informing the SSFA. We have to write also to Yambio it was similar to the issue of board. But immediately, those of people of Yambio replied immediately. Then measures was taken, and the decision was taken for resumption of the matches in Yambio. So SSFA is here to guide the local association on how to handle things. If you take punishment every day, so it will result to other things. For example, the issue of board, the president was suspended. And if you go now to suspend the secretary and lifting the suspension on the president, it will be like SSFA is also standing with the president while suspending the secretary and the vice president. It will bring a negative impact to this decision as well. This is why SSFA have to think twice on how to bring harmony to both local football associations so that the resumption of the matches continue and activities.
Well, you are asking about whether the SSFA will give to the media the investigation, the results of the investigation on board the local football association. Well, the decision here was based on the response. I know you are all familiar with what happened in Bor. What happened in Bor was the suspension of the president in regards to the false accusation that was detailing things to do with finance. So they accused the president of embezzling some funds, which was not true after the investigation. The funds were still in the account, and they were reported to the investigation committee. So there was no reason to why the president was suspended, and that's why the investigation committee recommend that the illegal suspension of the president should be lifted. And that is the reason also the investigation committee suggests the last warning to those two people involved, because that also involved, this is called incitement, because they were inciting the funds on the wrong and the false accusation. So their childish behaviors also resulted to the last warning. The investigation will not be availed, but this piece of response is based on what the finding committee conducted. In things to do with the deadline, I think the Vice President will respond to this.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me also give few highlights on the findings of investigation. The issue was the money, the 3,000 plus. That was meant for a conference before the elections to be held in Bor. After the elections, the conference was not held. The mistake was the Greater Upper Nile associations have chosen Bor as a venue for hosting the conference. So even the invoices, the proposals were done on a heading paper of Bor Local Football Association. And that is the claim, that the money belongs to them. But the money belongs to Greater Upper Nile associations. And this money also will be distributed also to Upper Nile associations. So the money is here. in the association, in the football association here in Juba with us. Money was given to the investigation committee, and we have the money. So that means the accusation was false. The money was with Isaac, the president of Malakal Football Association. So the money is here. And that is why we said the president of BOR is free, is innocent on the accusation that was given to them. For the deadline, yeah, we will extend. We will extend, and that is why we want them to give us. We want them to give us the new revised fixtures for the remaining matches, and based on that, we will consider some days. They can even play 2 matches a day. It's not a big problem. So that is why we are waiting for the fixtures, and then we will decide on that.
Yeah, in addition to the issue of the fixture, I think the blame will go to BOR, because whenever you look for a problem at all times, you will have to face the consequences. The deadline for presentation of the champion is on 15th of December, whereby you are going to registration and attachment of players on 20th. So within this given period, if you are not given us the champion and we are starting the match competition for South Sudan Cup on 10th of January, so it will be difficult for them to squeeze themselves within the given period of time, the remaining days, to bring for us the champion. So no one calls it for them, they cause it for them by themselves. And letters has been going on to BOR since on 6th of October, when we realized there's a problem going on in BOR. We asked them to give us clarification on the issues that is happening in BOR on 6th of October 2021, in which they failed, and necessary administrative measures was taken, and in even which they failed to abide. So the issues depends on them on how to expedite the fixtures and provide the champion of BOR Local Football Association to participate in the South Sudan Cup in 2022.
We did not intend to say we will give them time. You know, from today, if they send us a revised picture of their activity, and the matches start from tomorrow onward, it will be upon them whether they play in whether they play 4 matches a day, 2 matches a day, as long as the champion will be ready on the 15th. So if they miss the deadline of the 15th, of course, they will face the consequence, because that was a directive given to all the association. And we will never favor BOR Local Football Association if they fail, because they were the reason why the matches were cancelled. So if they fail to meet the deadline, definitely they will fail to meet. They will fail to participate in the upcoming competition. That is obvious, because the decision was circulated. The circular is to all the associations. So whatever the outcome of their matches, if they fail to meet the deadline, definitely we will still call the same press conference and we will announce that BOR is not part of the competition. But if they meet the deadline, that's obvious, because the Secretariat has already made a circular to all the association, and they knew they had a circular, and they never thought of the circular. They never thought of the circular, and they insisted to violate this decision. So it will be incumbent upon BOR Local Football Association to do whatever necessary to give us a champion before the 15th October and December. Any other question?
In addition to that, the responsibility of the champion presentation to the SSFA is based on the local association responsibilities. It is not our responsibilities. Whether you want to participate or not, it depends on you. But we will keep on following the status of the association. On various associations, it does not follow the procedures of participation in the national leagues and the competition as well.
Well, they will face consequences because clubs are under local football association. So we don't deal direct with clubs. The circular will go to board local football association. They would have convinced their clubs when the decision was sent from here, they would have told their clubs to stop the activities. But because they know they are responsible for their clubs, they decided to tell their clubs to continue with their activities. So it's still the same association that is obliged to inform their clubs from today that the matches have been suspended. Whatever the outcomes between their clubs and the local football association will be the responsibility of both local football association. But after all, we need the revised pictures for the matches. If the revised picture does not come, then that means they are still insisting with their previous matches. But if they give us the revised pictures, and already we have our reporters, we have all the intelligence information. If the matches are suspended, in fact, and the revised picture is accepted, well, we will accept them. But make sure they have to present their champion before the 15th. Whatever the consequence between them and their clubs is not the responsibility of the SSFA. It's the responsibility of both local football association.
Yeah. And issues to deal with the revised fixtures will have to meet the competition regulation as well.
Yes, definitely the suspension was illegal. We consider their suspension as illegal because the procedures that were taken for his suspension were not procedural. So the action to suspend the president was illegal, and based on this decision, we consider the suspension against the president lifted. So the president is free and innocent based on the finding of the committee.
But based on what you read, what you read for us,
excuse me. The local football association is directed to lift the suspension of the president.
Yes.
So it is not the South Sudan Football Association to lift the suspension of the president. It is very clear here. We directed the local football association to lift the suspension of the president.
With immediate effect on the date of 22nd November 2021.
With that, we have come to the end of our press conference. Thank you for coming, and we wish to see you again.